Thank you very much, Mr. Senate President. I have before me a petition by a Nigerian citizen and a constituent of Kogi Central under the name Suberu Azamare Yakubu. And the petition is against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuses of office, and malicious obstruction of legislative functions of distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. So with your kind permission, may I please lay this petition? Because as you know, yesterday...
Is there any legal impediment?
On the subject matter, none, sir. None, sir.
Please proceed to lay the petition. Since you said there is no legal impediment.
There is none, sir. Thank you.
Don't worry, somebody...
Which order is she talking?
Don't give this person any PR. Don't.
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has a petition from her constituents, and she has also further confirmed before all senators that the matter in issue is not in any court of law. I have no reason not to take her word for it, so accordingly, the petition is referred to the Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct, and Public Petitions to revert to the Senate in 4 weeks. Any prayer one?
Yes.
That the Senate do suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023 as amended for bringing the presiding officer and the entire Nigerian Senate in general to public opprobrium. Those in support of prayer one say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. I'd put the question. Those in support of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. How do you amend a prayer that is unanimous? Prayer two, that for the Senate to consider lifting this suspension or reducing the tenor of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration by the Nigerian Senate. Those in support of prayer two say aye. Those against say nay. I don't think, Senator Baribe, as a landlord of the Senate, I don't think they heard what I read. So let me just repeat for clarity. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenor of the suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before the reconsideration by the Senate. Those in support of prayer two say aye. Those against say nay. Okay, because I thought I heard 50-50. Let me make it 40-60. That for the Senate to consider lifting the suspension or reducing the tenor of suspension, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan shall submit a written apology to the Senate before any reconsideration of this case by the Senate. Those in support of prayer 2 say aye. Those against say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. Prayer 3.
Liberalism.
Prayer 3. That the Senate do suspend Senator Akpoti Oduagan with effect from 6th day of March 2025 from all legislative activities forward. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 4. That her office be locked up for the duration of this suspension, and she should hand over all Senate properties in her possession to the clerk of the National Assembly. Those in support of prayer 4 say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 5. That for the duration of her suspension, she cannot come or be seen within the vicinity of the National Assembly, including her staff. But this is normal. Those in support of prayer 5 say aye. Those against say nay. Again, the ayes have it. Prayer 6. That our salaries and allowances, including those of our legislative aides, be suspended and withdrawal of all security details for the duration of our suspension. Yes, Senator Ojo Sakalo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a little amendment. Her aides have families. Most of them have come from villages, from towns to live in Abuja. It will be wrong to punish aides that have not committed any offense. Their aides will receive their allowances. No, Dandu said, you have to agree with this. The aides of Natasha is not Natasha. It will be wrong for this Senate to deprive those aides not collecting their allowances. They are workers. They don't have any other farm to go to, Mr. President. Because these aides are workers of Senator Natasha. So I'm moving for amendment of that section that the aides will receive their allowances. Mr. President, I plead with you that these people might be having family in Abuja. They don't go to any farm. They don't have any other way of feeding. And I think that this Senate, my colleagues, you must allow the workers of Natasha to have their allowances. I so move, Mr. President.
Any seconder? Yes, any seconder? The two Senator Nedwoko, you have not spoken. Nedwoko has not spoken. Senator Nedwoko.
Thank you, Mr. President, and my
Senator
distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Ned Nwoko. I represent the good people of Delta North, Delta State. Mr. President, I do stand to second the amendment as proposed by Senator Oji Ozokalo. It's only fair that we allow the workers, even if they don't come to within the premises of the National Assembly, to receive their allowances. I so support. Thank you.
Well, distinguished colleagues, the Prayer 6 says that our salaries and allowances, including those of our legislative aides, be suspended. And the distinguished Senator Oju Sakalo has proposed that the salaries and allowances of the aides be spared. Even if they don't, and like he said, he further amended it to say, even if they are not allowed to come within the vicinity of the National Assembly, because they are here only at our instance, but that their salaries should be spared. Those who are in support of the amendment, that the salaries of the aides be spared, say aye. And those who feel that their salaries should also be withheld by the clerk of National Assembly, say nay. The ayes have it. What, just that's a matter. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Ahmed Lawan, I represent Yobe North. Mr. President, the latter part of number 6 talks of withdrawal of all security details for the duration of our suspension. Mr. President, I want to believe that we still feel we are one, and any injury to any of us should be injury to all. I believe withdrawal of security aids at this moment from a senator is not the best way to go. And we should not really create a precedence where the moment something happens with a member of the National Assembly, the security agencies will say withdraw the security aids, because this could be a problem to us later. So I just want us to reflect on this. Thank you.
Well, if your security is given to you as a leverage to your being a senator, then there will be no need for them to hang around with you when you are no longer a senator. In other words, if you are no longer a president of the Senate, you cannot continue to sit in the car of the president of the Senate. I was with you in the villa the day you declared support for me, and I saw you off as a sign of respect as the outgoing Senate president. When we got to the vehicle, you just pointed out and said, "This will be withdrawn from me tomorrow. I will come to your house after you win." so if you are telling me that, assuming I had failed that day, would that vehicle come to my house?
Well, Mr. Senate President, I don't want it to be like I'm trying to make a case, but I believe that this is a suspended senator, not someone who ceases to be a senator. It's suspension.
But without arguing with you,
That's my case. Yes.
Without arguing with you, let me remind you, you are a landlord in the Senate or in the National Assembly. Do you remember a senator that was called Oton Zeribe? A distinguished senator who was one of the richest people in southeastern Nigeria. And when he entered into the Senate, he carried along on his shoulders his wealth. May his soul rest in peace. When he was suspended, the Senate took steps to withdraw all his security. And when he refused to apologize to the Senate, he stayed out of the Senate for over 2.5 years until the end of that tenure. We are starting a journey now. And the journey depends on your attitude. Prayer 7, that for the period of her suspension, she be barred from representing herself to the public locally and internationally as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those who support prayer 7 say aye. Those again say nay. The ayes have it. Let me thank my colleagues.
This injustice will not be sustained. The pursuit for justice.
She's not coming back.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, please.